All right, Lulu, I got your memorial box finished, and this is going to be the video to help you put it together. I think it's going to be amazing, and I appreciate whoever's helping you because it is going to be a little bit of work, because usually I would have this all together and glued 100% in my shop, but we had to flat pack it like IKEA, even though it's custom furniture. So I appreciate that challenge, and I thank you, Lulu, because it's taking a little longer, but I think I got it. So here's the video. Here's how to put it together and some tips on how to get it to be strong with the glue. And I'll work with you obviously once you get it to make sure it's legit. So here we go. If you have wood glue that's applied correctly and allowed to dry, it'll be as strong as wood itself. So modern wood glue is amazing, and that's why using wood glue over screws is better for the longevity. If we do this right, it should help with the aesthetics, but also help it last a lot longer. So I thank whoever's helping put this together, because I know that wood glue, waiting for it to dry, and it can get messy. So what I'm going to try to do is show you where to put the glue where it needs to be without allowing the glue to get all over the place and cause a mess. The disadvantage to this process is it's going to take a little bit longer because you're going to have to let one side dry, so that way gravity isn't pulling your glue all over the workpiece. All right, so what we're going to be doing is gluing the mortise here, and you can see on each side there's a mortise that goes with each long piece, and this is the same on both end pieces. You'll notice that both end pieces have either Dave's or Brian's face on them, and they're going to correspond with the name on the front. So Brian will be on the left, Dave will be on the right. I'm drawing a tenon. You want to get glue along the end here, and then use your finger to spread it over around the whole end of it, so that way it's generous. And all around every edge, maybe a little bit more generous than that. So your tenon should essentially look all the way around, leaving about a 1/4 to 1/2 inch gap from the edge, like this. So when we go to put this into the mortise, it goes in there pretty nicely, without leaving a lot of glue all over the edge of the piece. The next step you're gonna do is take your glue and pour it generously down into the bottom of the mortise, and then take a stick or something and move that around without getting a lot on the front like I just did there. The less you clean up now, the more you clean up now and avoid spilling now, you're gonna save yourself so many headaches later. All right, to put together the toy box, the first thing you're gonna do is start with Brian's side piece right here. Once you take Brian's side piece, you're gonna lay it down on its side, and then take the end here, the base, and fit it flush into the space for it down there in the groove. Once you've done that, you're going to take the tenons that have Brian's name on them right here. So you have 1 and 2. You're going to put glue on these tenons right here, the parts that are sticking out. You're going to put glue down in these 2 holes right here. And then you're going to slide this groove and this tenon into this slot and along this edge here. So we'll take this, we'll fit the groove, we'll slide it down, and you should be able to work it down in there without too much brute force. And there you have the glue down there drying, ready to go. So now we're going to do the same thing for these 3 spots here. We put glue down in here. Put the glue in there. There's the back panel with the groove and the cross support. And you're just going to make sure that this groove fits into the slots and down the edge here. Make sure you put glue on this tenon and this tenon back here. And then gently fit them over. You shouldn't have to do a lot of brute force pushing and stuff. It's all cut to fit. If you have something getting stuck, it's most likely one of these panels is not aligned with its partner pieces. So once we've done that part, we're going to do the back piece here. Again, putting glue right on the end, and then down inside the mortise there, that rectangle, slide the piece in. And then go around and make sure each one of these corners here is meeting its end and flush. They should fit really well together, less than 1/8 of an inch gap there. Once you have that done, it's all glued up at this point. You're just going to let this dry. The more you can let this glue dry while it's sitting downward, the less trouble we'll have on the next step. Alright, so assuming you've glued everything up and these bottom 5 pieces have all been glued and dried enough to where the glue isn't going to be moving around on us, the next step is to take Dave's side piece, and we're going to do the same thing. We just have to be a little more careful to make sure we don't hurt our glue job from the before. So once you have the glue dried on the bottom, you're going to quickly put glue into each one of these slots and then on these tenons here. Make sure all your pieces are aligned, and then you can drop this right down into the respective the holes for it. It shouldn't be something you have to brute force, so if it's taking you a little bit more effort than you think it should, it's probably because either one of the panels or one of the tenons isn't right. Once you get that perfect, then what you're going to want to do is get it flipped over. Now this is where 2 people is going to come in handy. Right now your glue is going to want to drop downward, so if we can get this flipped over, the sooner the better. And what I would suggest is just having whoever's helping, or if you're by yourself, grab it from both sides and take both sides and put pressure towards the middle so it all stays together. This one side should already be dry by that point. Get it on its side, and then flip it quickly back onto the new side so that way gravity can do its work, and let the glue dry in the new spots where we just put them. This part's really important because if you do this part right, it'll make everything else perfect and you'll let gravity push down on it. I would suggest waiting like 1 to 2 hours in between glue ups. Usually that's how long it'll take for glue to get thick enough to not be goopy. So you won't have it, when you flip it, all the previous glue won't start dripping down the side here. Alright. So once both sides have dried, what we're going to do is we're going to tip it over onto its front. Everything should be square, and you should have it looking exactly like this. The last pieces that we're going to deal with are going to be the front part and the back part. And for the back, what we're going to do is just take some glue right here. Again, be generous, but don't go crazy with it because you don't want it spilling. And then push it down into its respective slots. This thing should be square, so you want that to be square. And then you'll see here we're going to use these buttons to attach into the back and into this part here where there's holes for these buttons to hold the top on. So let's do that now. Alright, so we have our top, and the top is going to go with the logo on the back right of the memorial box. The easiest way to do this part is to take the 4 back pre-drilled holes all the holes are pre-drilled already, but take the back, loosely screw on the 4 on the back. Just get them in there enough. And make sure they're pointing perpendicular outwards, so that way when we go to attach them to the holes, they're ready for us. Okay, once you have them all straight like that, then what you can do is put them downward, line them up with the holes, get it set, and then reach underneath. And what you're going to want to do is get each one of those buttons into that respective hole. You don't want these to be so tight yet that they won't give you a little wiggle room. So that way when you go to put it in, it'll actually let you push it back into the buttonhole. And if you do these loosely at first, it shouldn't give you too much of a trouble. In fact, I'm already there, so good. Alright, so once you have that done, once you put the top on, and you have the 4 buttons loosely hand tightened and then inside their respective holes, what you're going to do is take the other 4 for the front. You want to get them up into their hole, their respective buttonhole. Like that. Grab a drill and gently tighten this. Alright, now once you have the top all tightened up with those buttons, you should basically be able to see very little, if any, daylight in between the top stretchers on all the sides. Let me know, hopefully this video worked. I know it's a lot, so thank you again for helping Lulu with this. And I am going to cut this now and get this ready to box for you, so I can't wait to see it in real life. Have a good one.